Hey, what's up? This is Auction here. The Acronym Presto is probably the most iconic techwear shoe out there, being released in 2016 and slowly gaining momentum throughout that year until by the end it was pretty much ubiquitous, and still now you'll see it crop up again and again in techwear outfits. During 2018, rumors started circulating that there would be a second release of the Acronym Presto with new colorways, and people started doing mock-ups and renders and all that kind of thing. And then a little bit later, the official images did actually come out, and they were a little bit different to people's expectations, primarily because on each of the three colorways you would find these little patterned areas on both the cages and the toe box. So as you see here, of the three colors, I picked up the least vibrant of the bunch, the gray ones. The other two colorways, and something fairly unusual for techwear, are both pretty vibrant. There's a pink and blue version and a white and Volt one. These retailed at £170 or $200, which I believe is the same as the 2016 version. So let's have a look at the design, the comfort, the quality, and the kinds of things that you might wear with them. First up, the design, which of course is one of the most important aspects of any shoe. This is based, of course, on the Nike Air Presto, which is a shape that I really like. I've already got the utility Prestos in both the low and mid varieties. And the Acronym version makes for a nice little upgrade over and above the standard Nike versions, of which there are quite a few. There's the regular ones, Ultra Flyknits, utilities, and probably some other ones as well. One of the most notable features from a techwear aesthetic perspective is the zips, which you'll find on either side of the ankle cuff. These do help get your feet in easier, of course, but they also add a little bit of detailing, and zips, of course, aesthetically are pretty important for techwear. The two zips are attached by a cord which then clips onto the heel, so it's nice and easy to pull down and pull up both zips at once. The exposed kind of edge of the zip that comes out again helps aesthetically, makes it look a little bit interesting, and it makes for a nice little bit to hold on to as well to help you again unzip and zip these shoes. The zips that they use on here are a specific kind as well. If they're facing downwards, then those zips are locked, so they can't be undone, whereas if you flick them upwards, then they can be pulled undone very easily. So you'll sometimes hear people say that they think their zips are broken, or that the Acronym Presto zips aren't very good because they work themselves undone. Well, if they say that, they've probably just got the zips flipped up the wrong way. If you just face them downwards, then they're nice and secure and they're not going to come undone. So if you do pick these shoes up, make sure you're doing that when you put the shoes on. The grey part of the upper over the toe box is really nice, and I think that's partly what drew people to the 2016 Prestos, because you've got these cool little black neoprene inserts which come along the side there, and you've got a nice centralized Nike swoosh as well. That makes them look very unique, certainly different to all the other Prestos on the market, and that geometric look of those neoprene sections give it a bit of a futuristic quality. And of course, in theory, it's going to help with the durability of the shoe too, because that neoprene material is a little bit thicker than the rest of the upper. The front half of the outsole is grey, which is a nice little touch, makes that little grey sandwich, and it just softens the front of the shoe a little bit. I think this looks much better than if they did the whole outsole in black. There are a few other little Acronym upgrades across this shoe. You'll notice some Acronym branding both on the ankle cuff and around underneath where the laces go. There's this repeating Acronym logo which kind of goes around, which looks quite cool. But what really separates these shoes from a standard Nike Presto, and indeed from the 2016 version of the Acronym Presto, is each colorway has a very bold pattern on both the cage and on the toe box. If you look up close, these are little acronym motifs, so they are actually acronym related, they're not just a random pattern. And that gives them a much louder quality compared to the 2016 versions. I feel like that has put people off a little bit, and initially it put me off as well, especially with these grey ones, because I feel like there's a little bit of a duality between that colorway, which is very stealthy, very understated, and then you've got these patterned elements which are kind of the opposite of that, and I felt like they clashed a little bit. At least that's what I thought in the product images and the initial on-feet shots. But in hand, I think the pattern blends a little bit nicer than it appears to in product photos, and if you're wearing these in a full outfit, and if you look at full outfit pictures, the rest of the outfit will kind of tone down that pattern on the shoes as well. So I've ended up liking these more than I expected to. But people have taken to modding these and removing the pattern, and in doing so you are creating that very stealthy stealthy techwear shoe, which a lot of people were after with this release. I am thinking about doing that mod myself. If I do, I will definitely make a little tutorial video about it. It's not that difficult to do, but I think it's worth having guides for this sort of thing anyway. So if that's something you want to see a modified version of these so that they're super stealthy with this bit being all black, then stick it down there in the comments, let me know. And before you think that that might upset our Lord God Errolson Hugh, it does have his blessing, so it's okay, it's totally fine to do. So what about the comfort? Traditionally, Flyknit shoes are pretty comfortable, and this is certainly the case here. It's a nice stretchy material, it's pretty lightweight as well. They do have a bit of a sock-like quality, especially with that ankle cuff, which helps secure the shoe onto your feet. There is a bit of cushioning in the sole. This is an Air Presto, so there's an air unit in the heel, which makes it a little bit more comfortable than not having that, of course. But if you've worn a Presto before, in terms of sole comfort, this is exactly the same as that. However, I do feel that they fit a little bit large. I bought these in a UK 11, which I'd say is my true size, and with a thick pair of socks, they're just about okay, but they are a little bit roomy. Unfortunately, they only came in full sizes as well, because I've heard some people that tried to go down a full size found them too tight and too uncomfortable. So I'd say if you're between sizes, if you're like a 10.5 for example, definitely go down to a 10, but if you're full size, stick to your regular size and you'll just have to deal with these being a little bit roomy. The quality on these shoes has been a little bit of a contentious issue for people because they felt that they've not been as high quality as the 2016 release. I don't have those, so I can't compare directly, but of course I can talk about this shoe on its own. One thing that happened with the 2016 release was because the cage was quite sharp, it would rub on the upper, and over time it would wear it down and even cause holes. So what they did for this release, you can see there's an extra little circle here that they added on the upper, and that is to stop this part of the cage here rubbing against it. So that does help solve that issue. However, apparently it still happens anyway. I think it's on the top part of the cage here. Both these parts on each side are fairly sharp, and apparently what can happen, especially if you've got these tied up fairly tight, is that they will rub on this part of the upper here and they will tear through that. It's a bit of a shame that that does still occur. It's basically whatever molds that plastic material, it just comes out of the factory being a little bit too sharp. So people have taken to either filing that section down a little bit to help round it off and stop that harsh plastic hitting the upper, or they've added these little inserts behind it to just provide a bit of dampening basically. Again, if I do a mod video on these, that's the kind of thing that I'll also include. But I definitely recommend doing one of those two things if you want to prolong the life of your Prestos. Also, to prevent that occurring, I'd recommend not doing the laces up too tight. The laces are going to be pretty useless on these shoes anyway. They're not going to provide much tightness, they're just going to pull the cage in. So I'd leave them factory laced, that's what I plan on doing, and then that will minimize the amount that the cage is going to rub against that upper. And that's really the main quality-based issue that I've come across. The rest of it feels pretty good. I think the upper is all pretty thick, and despite being that knitted sock-like material, I feel like it has a bit of durability to it. And the same goes for the rest of the shoe. I think the cage seems well attached. Again, it's made of that nice rigid plastic, that's not going to cause you any problems. Wherever zips and stuff are involved, there's potential for that to break, but I've got no evidence of that. Unfortunately, as is common with Nike shoes, you probably will notice glue marks between the midsole and the upper. They're not really very easy to capture on camera, which suggests that they're not that noticeable, but they are there, and when you are paying a premium price for a shoe, it's a little bit annoying to see those small imperfections. What to wear with these is a good question, and I don't think my answer will particularly surprise you. Skinny and tapered things are definitely the go-to with these because you have that quite tight ankle cuff. You want that nice pant-shoe interaction. You want something that is gonna move up quite nicely from there. That kind of silhouette is very much the Techwear uniform, and people used it to great effect with the 2016 Prestos. In this video I'm wearing them with some Garuda pants that I did a review on a while ago, and I think they work pretty well here, and you could certainly go even slimmer than this. These are clearly a Techwear shoe aesthetically, so wearing them with jeans, for example, I don't really feel is the way to go. Stick to things like those high performance pants, cargos, things with, waterproofing or stretch characteristics. But within that techwear space, I do think you've got room to play with. You don't have to stick to a specific kind of very tactical looking cargo pants. I think things that are much more minimal, maybe much more athleisure inspired, are still a decent combination with these. In terms of the rest of your outfit, I don't think these really restrict you very much. Because they're monochrome, you can either copy that and go all black or black with a little bit of grey on the rest of your outfit, or you can introduce some more bold colours to the top half of your outfit. And then that's the thing that's taking the attention, and then the shoes are just chilling there at the bottom, just not standing out too much. They're just doing their own thing. So yes, I would say stick to techwear, stick to futuristic athleisure type stuff, but within that, you can experiment with quite a few different things and see what's working best for you. On the other colorways, you either have the option of copying those vivid colors on the rest of your outfit, introducing some more interesting colors, or you go for the techwear flex sneaker and you go super stealthy all black, and then you have those super bright sneakers doing all the talking for you. So in conclusion, the 2018 Prestos do not seem to have the same hype that the 2016 versions do. You can see that in the resale price, much lower on these than the 2016s. I think it's the pattern that's put people off there, and the thing that makes me say that partly is the fact that these ones, the greys, these actually have the lowest resale price of the three. And these, in terms of colorway, are more wearable than the other more vivid ones. But in my opinion, the pattern itself looks better in hand, and of course when you're wearing these, they are going to be subdued by the rest of your outfit. This makes the 2018 Prestos a good opportunity for people who have lusted after the 2016 ones, but not wanted to pay the cost, which only seems to be going up and up, especially the grey ones. Not only are they the most wearable with monochrome and black heavy outfits, but they currently come with the lowest resale cost. And remember that you can remove that pattern if you want to, and then you're just met with a very understated, stealthy Acronym shoe. £170 or $200 does make them fairly expensive compared to the sneaker market as a whole, and some of those other big releases, like the Element React 87s for example, they're coming in at like $140, which is maybe like $170, $180. If you compare these to the closest Presto model though, which is the Ultra Flyknit, there's quite a few differences. You've got the patterning on the toe box and the cage, you've got the slightly higher shape, you've got the zips, you've got what feels like a thicker and more durable material, you've got the neoprene elements, you've got the Acronym branding as well. So there are quite a few changes. And although quality wise they do still feel like a mainline Nike release and not some super exclusive collab, that does go some way towards justifying the cost. And they're about 40 quid less retail than the Acronym VaporMax, and they barely have anything on them at all, so definitely better value than those. The best use case for these I think is if you want something that is a little bit flashy, a bit different, and with that Acronym brand flex as well, but still, because of that monochrome colour, easy enough to integrate into your average techwear outfit, and generally more affordable than paying resale for those Acronym collabs that have come before. It's also worth noting that although the Acronym Presto has been hailed as the techwear shoe, it doesn't have the water-resistant performance that a lot of other techwear clothing would have. So do be aware of that, and if that functionality is important to you, then keep a lookout for those sneaker boots and those all-weather versions of sneakers. I'm going to do a video about exactly that in a couple of weeks, so keep your eyes open for that one. And that is all I have to say about these, the Acronym Presto. Let me know what you guys think of them. Are you a fan of this shape? And are you a fan of the new pattern that they've put on the cages? Or are you going to be one of those people where if you did pick these up, you would get at these and remove it all to create that very stealthy Acronym Presto shoe? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, it's much appreciated. And thank you so much for watching, and of course I will catch you next week for the next video. Despacito. Yeah, the Zoomfly SP is pretty underrated. I think those are quite cool. And shout out to Kaleidos. I didn't know that. If that's true, that's pretty interesting, and it would certainly make sense because there are quite a lot of style similarities between that Vans Cut and Sew pack and the Off-White 10 stuff. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. If you want to catch some more stuff, of course there'll be some links going up there. And if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely consider doing so because there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff coming up. I've got loads of fun video plans and I can't wait to get them all out. So hit one of the little buttons on that side, it'll appear somewhere, and then you can be subscribed forever.